So let's say I want to do a review on my tires. I went with a tire that had a thicker wall than the Pirelli Scorpion Verdes. So why not have a little bit of review just to explain to people why they might want to consider getting this tire specifically. Let's cold start it. Yeah. So here you go. These are the Ventus ST, and these are the 295/45 R20s 114B. You can get these tires, you can get a full set from Walmart for about $720. All you gotta do is check on your Walmart webpage and you should be able to find them that cheap. But as you know, this is the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. And as you know, this is a all-wheel drive vehicle. And with that all-wheel drive vehicle, you get the ability to race the shit out of these goddamn Econo boxes. And you get the ability to get into a nice, warm, welcoming vehicle all year round. Unlike Hellcat, unlike Demon, you can drive this thing all year round. Cherokee in snow mode. One thing you'll notice is a lot of people, they stay away from the sides because there's like a lot of snow, there's like a lot of ice on the sides. They stay away from that even when they have all-wheel drive, because a lot of their cars, they just don't have a lot of mass to them, a lot of power in them. You know, they've got these little four cylinders like this Nissan right here, and they don't want to get anywhere near all that mess over there. But the thing about it is, when you got one of these big bad boys, it's like you drive right through that. It's not even a problem. Not even a problem. And as you can see, I got the snow mode on, averaging 9.3 miles per gallon. Yeah, I have a lot of messages. People say, oh yeah, I want to get an SRT Jeep. I definitely want an SRT Jeep, because they know that they need that all-wheel drive and they want to still have power and they still want to have, like, you know, a little bit of raceability. But the thing about it is, it's like you have to decide this day and age. It's like, do you really want to drive around getting 10 miles to a gallon? I mean, they have lots of other options. Like, they've got the high altitude model. They've got the, what is it called? The Overland Summit. You know, pretty much every single car maker at this point is making something in all-wheel drive, because they know that all-wheel drive is a demand at this point of the Northeast, you know? It's like you can't drive around in rear-wheel drive cars in this nonsense anymore, because winters are getting more brutal. You know, despite the fact that these idiots want to keep on discounting climate change and everything, simple fact is you can't. The winters are getting more brutal. The warmer it gets, the more moisture's in the atmosphere. And when that moisture finally comes down, it comes down but brutal. And we had what they call on the news, they called it the cyclone bomb, because we got hit. And we got hit over a long period of time, and then the whole shit turns to ice and strong winds and whatnot. So the thing about it is, it's like, we know that the weather is getting more brutal. We know that we're getting hotter summers. We know that we're getting colder winters. You can't argue with these people. That's why I'm quick to block and ban people off my channel. Like, anybody who wants to fucking argue with me, you can go somewhere else. I don't give a fuck. Because, you know, there's people who seriously try to argue that the earth is flat. And you can't argue with these people. They're trolls. It's like, don't even bother arguing with them. Just block them, ban them, say, oh yeah, whatever, goodbye. And that's it. Because the second you try to argue with these people, you lose. Global warming is not real. Lord Kelvin proved that the world is getting colder over time because uranium turns into lead. And that means that the heat within the earth, you get basically less and less of it, because now there's not as much radioactive material. Global warming was a bad term. They should have never called it that, because now you got all these idiots scrutinizing you. Climate change is real. Climate change happens for a number of reasons. It happens because of plate tectonics blocking currents from the Gulf, currents that bring the warmth from the equator up to the north. Global warming is false. They should have never called it that, but climate change is absolutely real. And climate change happens with or without humans The problem is, if we pump lots and lots of global warming type gases like carbon dioxide, methane, sulfur dioxide, if we pump these things into the atmosphere, ultimately we're going to see more and more heat from the sun being trapped in the atmosphere, and that is ultimately going to cause the Earth, or at least the surface of the Earth, to experience more severe weather, because you're getting more and more moisture trapped. This guy's got a Kia, I think that's called an Optima, front-wheel drive Kia Optima. I'm actually surprised that Hyundai never built an all-wheel drive Sonata, because they've made the Sonata and the new Kia Optimas, they've made those pretty large, spacious cars. I'm surprised that they never built an all-wheel drive. In fact, I'm also surprised Toyota Camry never made an all-wheel drive. There's lots of people who love their Toyota Camrys, but they would love the ability to not have to dig so much just to get out of ice. All-wheel drive is the shit. It doesn't matter if it's an SUV or a car. It's just that the SUVs give you more ground clearance, All-wheel drive in this deep-ass snow. Look at that shit right there. You see how deep this snow is? Look at it. How about that all-wheel drive? Let's see. What can it do? What can it do? Uh-oh. Slide down. Look at that. Oh, all that deep-ass snow is no match for the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Specifically, what I can say is that on ice and snow, these tires specifically, they work pretty well. And the Pirellis are more designed for all-season sporty driving. But they're really not that great in ice and snow, especially when you get ice and snow that's that deep. When you want to dig out, when you want to do the minimal amount of digging in the morning, look at all that ice and shit near the airport. Look at that. When you want to be able to do the minimal amount of digging and you want to still be able to get your car out of there, it's like you don't want to have to worry about whether or not your tires are slipping. You just don't want to have to worry about that. You also don't want to have to worry about slipping and sliding. But see, this all-wheel drive and that electronic stability control, they do their job. And that's why I have to say it's no wonder to me why so many people have chosen the Jeep Grand Cherokee as their main vehicle of choice, specifically for all-wheel drive. It's no wonder. It's a great sized vehicle, and if you're a family of, let's say, 4, it's perfect. Like, husband, wife, 2 kids. Now, if you've got more kids than that, yeah, you're definitely gonna want this the Durango. Now, as far as whether or not to get the Durango SRT, once again, you got to decide. Well, do you want to get 10 miles to a gallon, or do you want more miles per gallon? So if you want more miles per gallon, if you go for the V6, or if you go for say a regular Hemi model, yeah, you're looking at between 15 and 20 miles per gallon with this new 8-speed transmission. But either way, I mean, if you don't really care so much about how it looks because you live in the middle of nowhere and nobody really cares about the cars you drive, the V6 is actually pretty damn awesome. But see, I just love the fact that you can have your racing ability and you can also, power over these mounds of snow and ice, and you never have to worry about it, So when people tell me, oh, should I get an SRT, or should I buy a Hellcat, or should I buy a regular SRT? I'm always quick to say, nah, man, make sure you get the Jeep. You got to get the Jeep. Because you don't want to be like this Toyota Camry right here. You see this little Toyota Camry? You don't want to be like that. Those are boring. You want to be able to, drive around in fun and style and sport mode and all that,